Well, my dear students, once again, a warm welcome you all to SGC YouTube channel. Welcome back to you all for session 2 English classes. First and prime most, I'd like to wish you all a happy 75th Independence Day. Let us make the things better in coming days, because as we had already determined to fulfill all our dreams and aims on the occasion of 74th Independence Day, in the same way, even we have to have some notions in our mind that on this beautiful day, we need to have some ideas, some aspirations to overcome the challenges and to fulfill our targeted goals. Well, my dear students, in the last class, we could able to discuss the introduction and outline summary of Romeo and Juliet. Well, today we will discuss the text, the textual extracts of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Well, my dear students, Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. (1597), William Shakespeare's lifespan 1564 to 1616. Well, it's very important to know that before going to any text, before going to any topic, we need to know the author or a poet. Well, my dear students, here we need to study William Shakespeare's introduction and in what way we can just have the importance of William Shakespeare and his work called Romeo and Juliet. So now let us go to William Shakespeare and his introduction. Well, William Shakespeare was born in 1564 and died in 1616. Obviously, it is not known yet for everyone, those who want to study William Shakespeare's the exact day of the birth, but the exact day of the death is 23rd April 1616. Well, my dear students, William Shakespeare is an English poet and playwright, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language. Of course, he is English poet and widely regarded. I mean, everyone knows him. In what way William Shakespeare is, and moreover, his contributions in the field of English literature, especially in the late 15th century, obviously We can forget many writers in the history of English literature, but we cannot forget William Shakespeare because he has made a tremendous changes in English language by contributing his several plays to the readers. Well, my dear students, he is also known as the world's preeminent dramatist, not post-eminent, preeminent dramatist. We can say that after the Chaucer's period in late 13th century, William Shakespeare was the person who gave much importance for writing the plays. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. He is also called as England's national poet, as we call in Kannada literature, Kuvempu. Mr. Kuvempu is also known as the national poet in Kannada literature. Whereas in English, William Shakespeare is regarded as the England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. Whom do we call the Bard, my dear students? So whom do we call Bard? Bard means a poet. A bard means a poet. Usually, bards means poets. Bard of Avon. He is the composer, singer, and writer of various verses on heroic deeds, heroic achievements, heroic struggles, and heroic themes. That is the reason he is known as Bard of Avon. Bard of Avon, my dear students. Well, his plays have been translated into every major living language and are performed more often than those of any other playwrights. Obviously, his works have been translated into various languages. We cannot say that only his works have been translated into one language or in only one local language or one national language or in the other local dialect, but here his works have been translated into various languages. Why? Because his works have got such an essence, such a quality where we can find the literary ideas, where they are going to motivate the youth, young people, even all the aged people will open their eyes when they hear William Shakespeare, my dear students, because it really thrills and it really makes someone's spirit to be enlivened. It's because of his works. Well, my dear students, let us go to some of the words which we need to know, because we need to understand first the Old English words. When we go to the extracts, we should know what is the usage of them, right? So here only 2 to 3 words which we need to have is D-O-T-H, death, Ethiop, though. These are all the Old English words. My dear students, these were used in 6th or 7th centuries. 6th or 7th century, by English writers. So till date, we find these words, Old English words. Old English words which we need to understand. Doth means does, right? Ethiop. Ethiop means an African woman. An African woman. Thou means you. My dear students, why I am giving you these words first right at the beginning, because we need to understand first some of the words, right? Now onwards, let us go to the background of the play, I mean the romantic, yes, tragedy, as we call that. Even we cannot call it completely a play here, but we can call it as the romantic tragedy. Why we cannot call it as a play? Because it's one romantic tragedy. It started with a romance but ended with a tragedy. Anyways, Romeo and Juliet, which was published in the year 1597, the poet William Shakespeare, he just gave us the mindset of the youth, and especially the teenaged people, how their mind is being fluctuated psychologically, and how they try to exchange their ideas and feelings belong to love, or even to have their mates, have their life mates or partners or suitors. So these things have been already written into his verses. Right? Even romantic tragedy, as we call it, star-crossed lovers, the Romeo and Juliet, it's star-crossed lovers, turned into a devastated and a tragedy, in the sense, so how their life started right at the beginning with full of romance, but later on it was changed into a tragedy. It's because of circumstances that we come across how Romeo will go with his friends and companions to the Capulets' supper, and how Juliet takes it, and how she shows how she shows and pretends to be dead. That's what, well, my dear students, here we need to go through. Have you heard of any legendary classical love stories? Legendary in the sense well known. Classical is nothing but traditional. Legendary means well known, classical means traditional. In what manner do these stories usually end, and why? Well, my dear students, some love stories will end with tragedy. Some love stories will end with comedy. Some love stories will end with friendship. Some love stories will end with romance itself. So, it is based on the situation that both the lovers will have in their life. Of course, it's all about the situation or the circumstance that they try to have in their particular period of love. Well, there are examples which we come across now are Helen and Paris, Pyramus and Thisbe, Laila and Majnu, Salim and Anarkali, Romeo and Juliet. In Indian, yes, in Indian stories, in Indian romance, a beautiful romantic story, yes, which was published in the year 1789, which is none other than Abhignana Shakuntalam by Kalidasa. Kalidasa writes it. It's a wonderful romance. And of course, it was originally written into Sanskrit, and later on, it was translated into English by William Jones, my dear students. You should know it. Why? Because such beautiful romantic stories, if you read and if you understand, it will definitely give you a sort of literary taste. Well, anyways. Well, my dear students, now going on to the background of Romeo and Juliet. The two noble families of Verona, the Capulets and the Montagues, were staunch enemies. The Montagues and the Capulets both were rival families. Rival families. Why they were rival? Even feud. They were a feud. They were totally opposite. They were staunch enemies. They were constant enemies. The Montagues and the Montagues and the Capulets, these two, Montagues and the Capulets, they did not like each other. There were several reasons that they did not like each other, but here it's not mentioned clearly, but one thing is pretty sure. When one is superb in his kingdom, if he finds the same equal, or the equal ability, personality, or equal calibered personality, he doesn't like him. There lies the differentiation. So here, the Montagues and the Capulets, since they were rival families, right, staunch enemies, Romeo and Juliet, as they were from rival families, feud families, old Lord Capulet hosted a grand supper. Old Lord Capulet hosts, who hosts Capulets? Old Lord Capulet hosts a supper. What he does, hosts a supper, my dear students. Who hosts a supper? Old Lord Capulet. The old Lord Capulet hosts a supper. He organizes it. Though Romeo belonged to the family of Montagues, as we had already discussed in the last class in the introduction and outline, but once again we will study it. Romeo belonged to the Montagues. Juliet belonged to the Capulets. My dear students, it is really interesting. Why? Because when rival family people fall in love with each other, how their mindset gets changed. It cannot be believed. We cannot believe how they got changed. It's all about the not only the mind but also the soul. That's the reason we can say that. So love trims beyond the imagination. Love will have its victory beyond its imagination. That's the reason we cannot imagine that love is found in only in this form or that form. That's the reason we cannot say that love is only blind. Love can be a deaf, dumb, and it may happen at any point of time with anybody if they are willing to have the similar emotions and feelings. It doesn't happen with everyone. Don't ask me, sir. It may happen with old age people also. Obviously, it may occur. It doesn't have restrictions. The exchanging of the similar feelings and emotions cannot be expected in an expected way. It can be expected always in an unexpected way. This is what we have in the romantic plays of William Shakespeare, my dear students. Well, meanwhile, as they came to know that Grand Supper is organized by Mr. Capulet, the old Lord Capulet, they prepared to go in disguise. Disguise in the sense they changed their uniform. They changed their dress code. They went in disguise in order to meet whom? The first lover. Though Romeo belonged to the family of Montagues, he attended the supper in disguise to see Rosaline. My dear students, who is Rosaline? Yes, Rosaline is the maiden or the first lover of Romeo. The first lover of Romeo, who is none other than Rosaline. So he just wanted to meet her. Who wanted to meet? Romeo wanted to meet Rosaline along with his friends Benvolio and Mercutio. Yes. Well, my dear students, there what he finds and what he sees, whom does he see there in the supper? Whom does he see on the stage? He sees Juliet on the dance floor and is fascinated by her beauty. My dear students, he sees there. He went there to see his first love, who is none other than Rosaline. But unfortunately, he sees there Juliet, who was more beautiful, who was one winsome, buxom than many other women in the world or in the entire Verona city itself. So it's all about the infatuation. It's all about infatuation, attraction. Well, my dear students, he was completely infatuated by the beauty of Juliet, who was dancing, who was there on the dance floor now. Yes. After the dance, excuse me, after the dance, he learns that She is the daughter of Lord Capulet. After the dance, he came to know that she is the daughter of whom? She is the daughter of the old Lord Capulet, who is from rival family, I mean feud, who is from enemy family. But how things changed over there, how he fell in love with this woman or a girl who appears to be just 14-year-old, but still she has got a wonderful, attractive personality, one who has, one who can, one who is not only is going to give you a sort of attractiveness or physical appearance, but at the same time, right from the bottom of the heart of Romeo's particularly, from the bottom of the heart, Romeo says that she is my love, that I must love her because she also starts to love me. Because both the young lovers, they attracted each other, and now they do not want to lose their bondage of their true love. Well, my dear students, she too feels a prodigious birth of love for a man from the enemy family. She too feels prodigious birth, prodigious in the sense enormous, extreme love. That, yes, this man belonged to enemy family. This man, Romeo, this man, Mr. Romeo, belonged to which family? The Montagues. That's what, my dear students, though it appears the rivalryness or enmity between both the families, but not with both the lovers here. So enmity and rivalryness changed into love, changed into the true love. That's the reason we cannot deny the true lovers over here in Romeo and Juliet, my dear students. The following verses express their implicit feelings for one another. Implicit, unexpressed. We just can't express their feelings, how they have exchanged their expressions through different symbols and their words, like, so some similes are used, personifications, right, in order to decorate the language. Obviously, we cannot say that the poetry will have only in free verse. Poetry will have with figures of speech all the time. Then only it will have its own effect, my dear students. So let us go through now the two extracts of Romeo's and Juliet. So here Romeo expresses, or Romeo appreciates the Juliet's beauty, and Juliet appreciates the whose? Romeo's handsomeness. Well, how they express through different words or symbols, that's very much interesting here. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. My dear students, the very first line talks about here alliteration. The first line, if you have textbook, please get it underlined. Alliteration. What is this alliteration? So alliteration is nothing but it's the repetition of a same sound. Repetition of the same sound is called as alliteration in figures of speech. She teaches the torches to burn the bright. I mean, her beauty is more than the torch. We cannot surpass it. It's beyond the limitation. That's the reason she was the most beautiful woman in the entire Verona city. That's the reason he was in love with her, Juliet. Romeo exclaims it. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night. It seems she hangs, it seems she hangs upon the cheek of night. In this line, we find that personification. She arrives as if she is like the night which is hung upon the cheeks. Yes. My dear students, she hangs upon the cheek of night. She appears to be his cheeks upon that night. It is how it is compared by William Shakespeare. How a living thing is compared to the non-living thing. As if having life and intelligence in this line, my dear students, that is the reason it is called as personification, the second line, personification. What is this personification, my dear students? Personification is nothing but, yes, showing the life and intelligence into dead and decayed things. Yes. As a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear or Ethiop's ear. Ethiop's ear. So, dot means does. Ethiop in the sense, an African woman. See here, as a rich jewel, it's a simile. As a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear, her beauty is appeared as an African woman's earring. Well, my dear students, I repeat, her beauty is appeared as an African woman's earring. That is what he suggests here. Yes, an Ethiop. An Ethiop. As a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear, beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. Beauty too rich. Her beauty is richer than any other thing on this earth. And it's too dear. Why he shows that? Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. My dear students, too dear in the sense so costly. Too dear in the sense here, so costly. So costly. Why it is so costly here? Nobody can compare. And it is such a precious thing where you just cannot see and imagine before her beauty. That's the reason she is the worthiest woman to be taken birth on this earth. So Romeo appreciates on her beauty too. Again, so shows a snowy dove trooping with crows. Snowy dove. Her beauty is compared to snowy dove. A flock of feathers. Crows. Trooping with crows means flock of crows. My dear students, though there were blackbirds, crows, trooping crows, there was a group, there was a troop of blackbirds. Among them, Juliet was appeared as a snowy dove, white colored bird here. Imagine if there are many blackbirds, if you find only one white bird, It appears to be special and exceptional among all of them. This is what we find, and William Shakespeare compares her beauty to a snowy dove through the character Romeo. Well, my dear students, as yonder lady over her fellows shows, as yonder lady over her fellows shows, yonder in the sense there, she finds, she is found on the dancing floor. There were many ladies, there were many women, there were different girls. Among them, she was the only one and only, who was more beautiful, who was more buxom, winsome, attractive. And of course, he was attracted by her. Her beauty, it just cannot be compared to any other beautiful girls or women by Romeo. The major is done. Major done in the sense the dance is ended. The dance is over on the floor. I will watch her place of stand. Who will watch the place of stand? Romeo wants to meet her. Romeo wants to go nearby her in order to submit his feelings of love. The true love, not the false love. That's the reason true lovers will never die. Sometimes William Shakespeare's quotes will say us, true lovers may die, but their true love will never die. My dear students, even William Shakespeare says, attraction is not permanent love, but love is permanent attraction. That's what here we need to know that the reality of the true lovers, the true love is not just a time pass, it's just the making the moments and memorable between two joined hearts. That's the reason the true love is nothing but it's a true friendship between two true hearts and minds, my dear students. And touching hers make blessed my rude hand. He wants to go and touch her and to be blessed by his rude hand, rough hand. He wants to go and touch her rude hand, rough hand or clumsy hand. Did my heart love till now? Did my heart true love? Here the true love. He had seen, yes, different people, different women, different beautiful girls in the Verona city, but he could not search for the best suitor of him. But now, after looking at the Juliet's beauty, he was completely infatuated, was attracted by the Juliet's physical appearance externally, and he forgets his first love, who is none other than Rosalind, and fell in love with Juliet. My dear students, did my heart love till now? Forswear. I promised to give up. Forswear means I promised to give up its sight. So I took it. My first love was, of course, it was my first experience. But now this experience of first love is no more in my mind, because I found the true love in my heart with true friendship, the true friendship with Juliet itself, not with anyone, not with anybody else. For I never saw true beauty till this night. I have seen so many people, but I could not see such a true beauty so far. Why? Because many people did not give me a sort of true feelings, but I could able to germinate the true feelings of love from my heart towards only Juliet itself. Of course, he says himself that obviously she is made for him. This is all about the interpretation of Romeo's interpretation on Juliet's beauty. Remember this. Act 1 scene 5 is over. Now coming to Juliet, my dear students. Come night, come Romeo, come thou day and night. Come night, come Romeo, come though day and night. Though in the sense you hear. She invites, she calls Romeo to come and meet her in that gentle and beautiful night where they can spend wonderfully in order to make their moments more memorable and unforgettable now. Yes. Even this line is being shown with parallelism. Come, come, the repetition of the same sound we come across, my dear students, here, right? Even it is also called as a syndeton. A syndeton in the sense omission of, yes, conjunctions in the first line of Juliet. The appreciation on Romeo. Remember this. For thou wilt lie upon the wings of night. Wilt. What is this wilt? My dear students, wilt also Old English word. Wilt means here will. Wilt means here will. So, here, you will lie upon the wings of night. Your arrival, you will come on the wings of night. Wings of night and cheek of night. Remember how the rhyme scheme is being used over here, my dear students. Between Romeo's handsomeness and Juliet's beauty. Yes. Whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Whiter than new snow. Raven is a black bird here. My dear students, who is raven here? A black bird. So here, raven, it's a whiter than new snow on a raven's back. There is a, yes, new snow means new charm. New snow means new charm. New charm here. New charm it is. New snow is nothing but new charm. I mean, the new charm was found on the back of that bird here. Yes, his appearance is compared to, yes, the wings of night, my dear students. And of course, he has such a handsomeness. He was classy. He was courtly. His handsomeness cannot be compared to any other man in the entire Verona city. Though she could find many people. Of course, it was fixed earlier that she was supposed to be married to Paris. Who? Juliet. But she could not find the feelings of the truthful love in Paris, but she found at the same time the true feelings of true love in Romeo. That's the reason, my dear students, always the true souls, the true souls will only make their true mates more perfect and effectively, so that there will be a wonderful bondage between both the lovers. Otherwise, they just cannot make their life more effectual and worth. Come, gentle nights, come, loving black broad nights. Black broad night. I mean, that night should have the new snow as he appears on that beautiful night. This raven, why she compares this raven? So raven is compared to the Romeo's charmingness. Romeo, see, when raven, if raven is coming, if raven is appearing in the dark or at night, its back is seen very much shining. I mean, it is more than the light. It is more than the sparkling light, obviously. That's the reason the raven has got a new charm on its back, and that charm is compared to the Romeo's classiness. I mean, his handsomeness, my dear students, over here. Give me my Romeo, and when I shall die. She says that, yes, she asks at the same time that gentle light to give her an opportunity and to love forever in this, yes, beautiful darkness. And give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars. Give me my Romeo. She requests at Almighty. She requests at God. Why she requests to the God? Because she requests to the God that he must come and he must have his own kind of, incarnation. What kind of incarnation? After her death, when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars. Take him and cut him into little stars, in the sense here, after Juliet's death, he must be like a shining star among the millions of stars in the sky. Well, my dear students, and he will make the face of heaven in the sense the night or the sky over here. He will make the face of heaven so fine. I mean, the entire sky will be appeared so fine, so wonderful. And you just cannot fluctuate your mind the moment you look at the millions of stars. But here, William Shakespeare gives the appreciation through the character called Juliet that he must be like, he must be one among the millions of stars in the sky, where one just does not have only his image or identity, but people will look at him as the most handsome and the most classy or courtly man who sacrificed his life for the sake of true love. That is the thing over here, that all the world will be in love with knights. That all the world will be in love with knights and pay no worship to the garish sun. My dear students, and pay no worship to the garish sun in the sense. So nobody in the entire world, once he is cut and put into little stars in the sky, everyone starts to worship only Romeo, not any gods or angels or goddesses, because it is the identity of the true lover. That's the reason I told you a little while ago, through Lovers may die, but their true love will never die. That's the reason. Only this true lovers example we can learn from the Romeo and Juliet, those who sacrifice their entire life for the sake of their realistic feelings and emotions of love. Well, my dear students, I hope you have understood both the verses. I request you to go through both the verses, extracts of Romeo's and Juliet's. Thank you so much for listening to the lecture 2 of Romeo and Juliet, and keep reading it and keep interpreting it into your own words. Thank you so much for listening to the today's English class, and keep subscribing Sri Guru Independent View online classes. Once again, I wish you happy and prosperous 75th Independence Day to you all. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much.